Hey guys, it's Skylar from the Changeyoucanwear. It's been like a really long time since my last video. I've been crazy busy learning fine jewelry down in Portland. And so I've been focusing pretty much all my attention on that lately. But it's been quite a while and I've been wanting to do a video for a while. So I've got a really great one for you guys today. Today we're going to be checking out 4 ways we can antique silver. 4 completely different ways. And then when we're done with that, I'll do a quick update and show you guys what I've been up to down in Portland also. I've learned an absolute ton in the last couple months. I can't wait to share it with you guys. All right, let's take a look at the 4 different things we can use to antique silver today. All right, the first thing is one I use all the time. It's liver of sulfur XL gel. That one's gonna be straightforward, but if you guys haven't seen it before, be prepared. It's gonna be my favorite more than likely. We will find out though. And the second one is gonna be this Black Max. It's from Rio Grande. Now this chemical comes in all kinds of different names, but they all react the same. So whatever brand it might be, if it looks kind of like this, it'll be this kind of a chemical. We'll see how that works. The next one, pretty exciting actually. I've been practicing with this one a little bit. Clorox Bleach. We'll see how that works. It antique silver. And the next one we have is an egg. We'll give that a shot. All right, let's start with the 2 that take the longest to get going. So that'll be the Clorox Bleach and the egg. We'll do those first. All right, let's go boil up some eggs. Ooh, I cracked that one. All right, we got our eggs all boiled. It looks like I dropped one and cracked it when I threw it in, so that was like, you know, made a little egg drop soup or something in there. I don't know. I don't eat eggs. I don't like eggs. I've never boiled an egg till just now, so there you go. I actually had to Google how to boil eggs. Had no clue. All right, anyway, too much information. And here's the rings that we're going to be antiquing today. I made a handful of these 40% silver JFK half dollars. These are gonna be perfect for antiquing process. And if they don't work, it's not so big of a deal because they're only 40% silver. So I'm not out too much that way. All right, so we're gonna take our eggs. I cooked 3 of them. I figured the more the merrier. I'm not sure how many I actually need. I've never actually done this one. So, all right, so we're gonna crack them out of the eggs and then put them in here, crush them up, and then throw in the ring with it. See what happens. Nice egg stirring device. And we'll seal that up and we'll see how we do. We'll set that over there and check on it in 30 minutes to an hour or something like that. We'll see what happens. All right, next up, we got bleach. So we got our little jar here, seal it up so we don't have to smell the whole shop up because bleach stinks. Go ahead and pour some in. Oh, and it's another important thing to note that before we started doing any of this, I had cleaned this in a pickle pot, which is, for me, it's a citric acid pickle by Nature's Touch is what I use. And then I cleaned everything with Dawn dish soap to make sure there's no oil on it before I even got started. So now that that's done, these are totally cleaned, oil-free, and so that it can actually accept any antique that we are gonna be putting on. So we've got our straight bleach, not cut down or diluted at all. We're gonna go ahead and throw that in. All right, we're going to leave that sit in there for a little while and see what happens. I want to say we'll probably leave it in there for around an hour, but you know, that can change. We're going to keep taking a look at it and seeing how it does. And speaking of that, it's been about 10 minutes since I threw the ring in with the eggs. So let's just crack it open and take a quick look, see what 10 minutes has done. Whoa, check that out. Okay, I forgot to tell you one thing. I did not degrease this one before I threw it in. I got to thinking about it afterwards. So you can tell where it really took off right here. And look at finger marks. Probably what that is. There was some grease on that. So I'll tell you what, I'm gonna re-clean it. Geez, 10 minutes might be just about enough to antique that pretty well. So what I'm gonna do is clean this off really well, and then I'm gonna microwave these eggs again because I think hot eggs work better, and then I'm gonna throw it back in there. Give it another 10-15 minutes and see what we come up with. All right, I re-microwave those, degrease that really well, throw that back in, see what up. Put that back to the side. So now that that's done, check this out. This has been in there only about 3 minutes. This guy's been in there about 3 minutes. Look how dark that is already. It's working a lot faster than I anticipated. That's cool though. So I'm gonna throw that in there for a little bit longer, and then when I get done with the other two, we'll just pull everything out and take a look at it. This is taking significantly less time than I expected on everything, which is good. All right, so next one we're gonna be doing is this liver of sulfur XL gel. This is a gel version of liver of sulfur, which is the one I've always used. It works really, really well. So we have some hot water here. I just, right below boiling, I put it in for about a minute in the microwave. We're gonna take our XL gel and drop about 2 drops of it in there, 1 to 2 drops. You really don't need a ton of it. And I always try using as little water as I can so that way I can make my XL gel go farther. All right, so we'll get that stirred up. And then we're gonna take our cleaned coin and just dip it in there. And this does work really, really quickly. So it's already starting to turn. Now the longer you leave it in there with any of these methods, the deeper and the darker the antique will be. So the longer you leave it in the bleach, the longer it stays in the hot eggs, the longer you use this liver sulfur, you know, it's just gonna get deeper in there. All right, we'll let that sit for a second. Whew, it stinks in the shop though, I gotta tell you, with the eggs and the liver of sulfur and the Clorox bleach, it kind of smells like a poorly maintained public pool bathroom.
Who does number 2 work for?
No good. Okay, that's been in there about a minute, something like that. I feel like that's sufficient. This is our liver of sulfur one. I'll leave it right there. All right, our last ring. It is going to be the Black Max one we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be using the Black Max on this guy. And the way I like to use the Black Max, you can submerge it in the Black Max, but then it tends to, you know, it uses up the chemical reaction if you keep dipping it in the same container. So I like to keep the container clean, you know, pour it into a container and add a coin ring to them over and over, because that just ruins the chemicals inside, I suppose. So what I do is I just dip some out with a Q-tip and then just apply it that way. And it's a really good idea to have gloves on, but I'm gonna be careful and not touch it. And the reason I don't have gloves is the whole COVID-19 thing. Yeah, everyone takes all their gloves. I go to the store, there's no gloves. No toilet paper, no gloves. We got Black Max though, so that's good. Check that out. It works so quickly. And we're gonna let this stuff sit on there for a few minutes before I clean it off. Give it the best possible chance for success to stay on there good and deep. All right, we'll give that about 5 minutes and then I'll rinse it off. All right, this one is our liver of sulfur one. This sat in just under boiling water for about a minute, and that is the effect. It's really even before we take some of the antiquing off. It looks really, really even. It's a good one. This is our Black Max one, and it was applied on, it was almost instantaneous, and I let it sit for a few minutes before I wash it off. Whether or not that had an effect, you know, I really don't know. But if you look at it just in the raw black compared to the liver of sulfur, I mean, it does look darker. Not crazy darker, but it's noticeably darker. So that's interesting. But check this one out. This is the one I'm really interested in. Look at this, is bleach. That's pretty darn dark. And that was in there for 20 minutes. Compared to the liver of sulfur one, it's noticeably darker. Let's take a look at next to the Black Max one. It's darker than the Black Max one too. So that's interesting. I don't know. It's hard to tell on the camera if you guys can notice this, but it's got a browner hue to it though. So I don't know if you like that, if you don't like that. I'm inclined to kind of like it. I don't know. It's interesting. And this is the egg. It was in there for 30 minutes, kind of splotchy. At first I thought it was because I got finger marks in it or you know, oils on it, which might be true, but I washed it thoroughly and I still have the issue. I'm assuming probably what it is, to be honest, is just throwing it right on top of the eggs like that. If I was to do it over again, I think you can get a lot more even look if you probably put it on top of a paper towel in there, so that way the paper towel kept it free from contact with the eggs. And you know, I think the gases is what's going to be doing the antiquing anyway. And it's kind of splotchy. It's got different colors in there. It's like kind of like a rainbow look. Like, you know, when you heat up a metal, as it starts heating up, it kind of gets that rainbow look. It kind of looks similar to this, but then the splotches. So I don't know, the paper towel thing might have worked, and that was 30 minutes. 30 minutes in the container with the eggs. The inside looks relatively even. So I'm pretty sure it is a contact thing with the eggs, because the inside was not touching the eggs, and look how even that turned out. So that was just probably my bad on that one. But by far the lightest one, obviously. I mean, the liver of sulfur, it's the same process going on there. And it's definitely lighter. Now what I want to do is take some 4/0 steel wool and then take some of this back off to see, how deep it looks, how good it looks, if there's anything that we can notice that's different after finishing the antiquing process off by removing some of it. This is the liver of sulfur one we're doing first. And I'm going to try taking off as much on each one. Always a great result. Looks fantastic. All right, I'm going to set that one down. Next up is the Black Max. And we're going to do a side-by-side comparison when we're all finished here. Not bad also. Looks pretty good. All right, next up is the Bleach. Ooh, this one might be my new favorite. It's pretty darn dark. Look at the inside. Oh man, I think I love that one. And then finally we have the egg. Not nearly as deep of reaction as the others, but it's definitely still there. And to be perfectly honest, it looks pretty good and even once you take the 4/0 steel wool to it. That is definitely an acceptable method. All right, let's take a look at them side by side. Liver of sulfur, Black Max, Bleach, and an egg. And you know what? If you were to mix those all up, you'd be hard pressed to tell one from another, actually. That's the that's the liver of sulfur. Looks fabulous, as a matter of fact. And Black Max. That one, honestly, is not quite as deep. I think it's probably a little more on the surface than the liver of sulfur is. And in my experience, that does tend to fade. That definitely fades more than the liver of sulfur one does. So think about that when you're buying it. The Bleach though, everyone's got Bleach. It's incredibly cheap. And apparently it's crazy dark. It does not take that long to antique either. I mean, 20 minutes, it's still 20 minutes, right? But not too bad. Wow, I mean, I'm very impressed with that one. That's insane, I love it. And then we have the egg. I mean, if you're talking about antiquing silver at home, this is the one that probably you've heard of before. It doesn't really, I don't know, doesn't have the look that I'm really going for. Really super light. It does work, right? But look at next to the Bleach, forget about it.
Forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about it. Forget about it.
That thing is awesome. That's it, guys. That's the side-by-side comparison of liver of sulfur, this one, Black Max, that one, the Bleach, that one, and now the eggs as well. All in all, they all look fantastic. They're all gonna make great coin rings. If you're antiquing any kind of silver, I don't think you can go wrong with any of those choices, to be honest with you. Although my preferred that I've been using forever is liver of sulfur. But now I might do a little bit of research into Bleach. That might be something I would look into. And now to give you guys a bit of an update on what I've been up to in that jewelry apprenticeship I've been taking down in downtown Portland. I've been learning jewelry underneath an amazing jeweler. A lot of you guys know him, Paul Bartnick. You can check out his Instagram, it's Paul Bartnick Designs. It's hard to really explain how much I've really learned in the last couple months. I finished my wife's platinum ring, and to do that, you had to learn wax carving, you had to learn all these other skills in order to do that. And then I also finished my sister-in-law's 14 karat white gold ring. So I learned how to alloy metal, how to alloy gold, how to set marquee stones. All the birthstones for all our 4 kids were in that ring. And then the center stone, the center diamond in that, was actually the engagement ring that my brother gave her when they got married. Got to learn how to make casting grain.
Ready?
Oh my gosh.
It's a chunk of silver, dude.
That was more normal falls there.
Helps make a better casting. The pieces are smaller, they melt easier, you get just a lot better of a casting with casting grain. And then just learning how to plan a build, how to sketch it out first. And then before you ever even touch metal or anything else, you're knowing how to plan it out by drawing. I got to learn how to make a sprue tree. There's a lot more to it than I thought there was, actually. And I also got to learn how to do investment casting. Once you have the sprue tree all built, you invest it. After you have that investment casting done and out of the oven, there's different ways you can spin cast these. So depending on if it's silver, gold, or platinum, you'll spin cast a little bit differently. And learning how to set center stones, there's a lot to that. I've been learning how to flush set stones, learn how to star set stones, and then also how to actually properly size a ring, and then how to fuse metal, how to fuse gold, how to fuse platinum, how to properly polish a ring or silver or gold. And we'll get into that in other videos, I'm sure, but it is really basic. I've been doing it wrong for a lot of years, so learning how to do it the right way was pretty cool. Another really cool thing I got to learn is how to make rubber molds of the rings that we have finished. So that way you can make a rubber mold, you can inject wax into it, and then investment cast the wax and make other copies of those rings. And just learning how to inject the wax into the rubber mold took some figuring out. And something I've been learning just this week, as a matter of fact today even, is how to make interlocking wedding sets. But the thing that really gets me excited is how these things intersect with coin ring making. I have so many cool ideas that I cannot wait to get started on. As a matter of fact, just men's rings in general. There's so many really cool ideas that I'm definitely going to be exploring on the channel. So get subscribed to the channel and get ready for a lot of really cool content coming up. But for the immediate future, I'm not putting a ton of videos out. I'm really trying as hard as I can to focus on learning while I have this opportunity. I'm going to try and keep putting out videos like this as much as I can. I just really want to be a resource to you guys. I wouldn't even be able to be learning traditional jewelry if it wasn't for your guys' support of the channel and the support of me personally. So I love you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.